Hello, my name is Ahmad Farid bin Abdul Mu'in. My number matric is 2022480312.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ikram Akil bin Ibrahim. My matrix number is 2022472108.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Fajri Aris bin Fauzi and my matrix number is 2022460692.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Farhim bin Muhammad Nazri. My matrix number is 2022487652.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Izzat Zaris bin Muhammad Rizal and my matric number is 2022825748.
Introduction. For the background problem, Malaysia's climate has shown increased variability with more frequent and intense weather events. Change in rainfall have causes rocks in some areas and floods in others, disrupting local ecosystems and human settlements. The banks reported that a 2015 study on rainfall trends in the east coast of peninsular Malaysia, such as Kelantan and Terengganu, found a significant increase in annual rainfall, as well as during the monsoon period. Right now, a group of us have agreed to do some report about weather and climate change in Malaysia, which is a Southern Asian country occupying parts of Malay Peninsula and the island of Borneo. Our purpose in making this report is to find out the temperature change and fluctuations in the amount of rainfall from 2019 to 2022 in each of the 14 states in Malaysia. From this report, we can know the effect of rainfall fluctuation and temperature range in some states. Before that, there are several research findings to identify in order to complete our research, like data limitations, lack of experience, and limited time. Data limitation. The data shown in the official portal of the Department of Statistics Malaysia, is known as DOSM, is not fully prepared. Therefore, we need to find other data source for all the information based on other articles so that the result of our study are complete. We need to be sensitive the data numbers by checking several times to ensure that the data we are looking for is accurate. 2. Lack of experience. We have no experience conducting thesis on the web or social media. This gives us to shortcoming because among our group members, we are reluctant to search for articles on the internet. Maybe they found it, but the probability that the data is not accurate. 3. Limited time. The time given to us to complete the report is limited and the class time constraints. Therefore, it is our responsibility to manage time well in order to complete this task on time. We need to spend time in collecting data from other resources and writing reports in our spare time so we don't waste time to complete this task.
Okay, I will explain about the statistics of average temperature in Malaysia from 2019 until 2022. Based on the graph, the data display an average temperature in Malaysia from the year 2019 until 22. First and foremost, for 2019, it was recorded as the most highest temperature, which is 26.8 Celsius, followed by the year 2020, which starts to decrease 0.112 Celsius. As for year 2021, the number continuously dropped, which recorded 26.47 Celsius, differ 0.21 from previous year. Last but not least, for year 2022 shows the lowest temperature ever recorded, which is 26.35 Celsius. Malaysia does not have 4 distinct seasons. Rather, the climate is consistent throughout the year with little variation in temperature. Depending on the area, there may be modest variation in temperature. In contrast to highland regions, coastal and lowland locations are often warmer. Humidity levels are often over 80% year-round. When continued with high temperatures, this high humidity could create an impression that the weather is warmer than it actually is. Next, for figure 2, it shows that the statistic of yearly precipitation in Malaysia from 2019 until 2022. Based on the graph, it shows that every consecutive 4 years, there is a rainfall in our country. For 2019, the total average rainfall accumulated was 2.59 millimeters and recorded as the lowest average compared to other following years. Next, for 2020, the number begins to increase with an amount of 3.04 millimeters, which differs from 0.545 millimeters. Next, in the year 2021, the number of rainfall increased to 3.29 millimeters compared to 2 previous years. The year 2022 shows the highest amount of precipitation in Malaysia, which is 3.48 millimeters. As you all know, Malaysia has a tropical rainforest climate characterized by high humidity and substantial rainfall. Malaysia also experiences high annual rainfall, typically ranging from 2,000 millimeters until 3,000 millimeters. Some areas, especially in the highlands along the west coast, can receive more than 4,000 millimeters annually. Moving on, this is the chart 5 for yearly flood that occurs in Malaysia from 2019 until 2022. Figure 3 shows the data of frequency of flood happening in Malaysia. First, as you can see, in 2019, the percentage of flood occurring is small, which is only 18%, whereas in the following year, 2020, the frequency of flood had increased by 5%, which is 23%. In 2021, the percentage kept rising until 37%, which was recorded as the highest percentage of floods in Malaysia compared to previous years. Last but not least, in 2022, the percentage starts to decrease until 22% due to the monsoon wind. Frequent flooding caused by the northeast monsoon, which is usually more severe and provides significant rainfall, especially to the east coast states of Peninsular Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak as well. Moving to another graph, this graph displays deforestation issues in Malaysia from 2019 until 2022. In 2019, the amount of tree loss cover was 395 kilohectares. By the year 2020, 269 kilohectares of tree cover had decreased due to deforestation. In 2021, the scatter graph shows that the number rose to 278 kilohectares amount of tree cover loss, and last but not least, in 2022, the amount of tree cover loss deteriorated till 248 kilohectares. Deforestation is a common environmental issue with multiple dimensions, including ecological, social, and economic impacts. Extent and cost of deforestation can be considered from logging activity as well. Commercial logging for timber is another major contribution, whether legal or illegal, causes the loss of forest cover. Besides that, rapid development and urbanization contribute to deforestation as well, especially around expanding urban areas and infrastructure projects, because forests absorb carbon dioxide. Their loss increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which exacerbates climate change. Last but not least, based on figure 5, as you can see, the data shows the amount of carbon dioxide emissions in Malaysia from 2019 until 2022. In 2019, 255.8 kilotons recorded due to energy consumption. the average carbon dioxide emission in 2020 starts to decrease from 255.8 to 247 kilotons. The numbers keep varying to 255.7 kilotons in 2021, indicating the number will start to increase tremendously. As shown in the graph above, in 2022, the data keeps escalating, which is 272.9 kilotons, and it shows as the highest number ever displayed compared to the previous 3 years. Malaysia's carbon dioxide emissions have been a crucial environmental concern due to the country's economic growth and industrialization. Malaysia's carbon dioxide emissions have been increasing over the past few decades, primarily due to expansion in the transport sector and energy production. Transportation-related emissions have grown as a result of an increase in automobiles, trucks, and motorbikes. Malaysia also produces a large amount of its power from fossil fuels, mostly coal and natural gas. This reliance makes an essential impact to the nation's carbon dioxide emission.
Based on the bar chart on figure 6, the data show the data for Johor. To differentiate the data, the yearly temperature is colored as blue and the yearly total rainfall is colored as green. For temperature, the average temperature that were collected are not very different in year 2019 until 2022. For rainfall data in Johor, the bar chart shows that the number of rainfall increased each year from 2019 until 2022. To elaborate, the year 2019 showed that the total rainfall is 1,922.4 mm, increased to 2,056.5 in the year 2020. The total rainfall keep increasing for the next 2 years in 2021 and 2022. This collected data show that the yearly total rainfall keep increasing each year. Next is figure 7 that shows the statistic of yearly temperature and rainfall in Melaka from the year 2019 until the 2022. On the line chart, we can see that the temperature of the year 2019 slightly decreased until the year 2020. The temperature keep increasing until the year 2021, which is 27.4 Celsius, and stay the same in the next year 2022. In addition, the total rainfall in the year 2019 until 2022 show impressive data. That means the total rainfall for the year 2019 continue to decrease until the year 2021, which is 2,476.8 mm compared to 2020, which is 1,871.9 mm. The total rainfall keep increasing again in 2022, showing a total of 2,684.6 mm of total rainfall. Figure 8. Line graph in figure 8 show the statistic of yearly temperature and rainfall in Negeri Sembilan from the year 2019 until 2022. To elaborate the graph, the yearly temperature for year 2019 and the year 2022 are the same, which is 26.7 Celsius. Then the yearly temperature start to slightly deteriorate until 2022, which is 26.5 Celsius. The graph in figure 8 also show that in the year 2019, the annual total rainfall is 1,308.3 millimeter. Then the next year, which is the year 2020, we can see that the data of the annual total rainfall increased. In the year 2021, the annual total rainfall does not go higher than the year 2020, but it still increased, showing that the difference. As for the data in the year 2022, the data of the annual total rainfall jumped to 2,276.2 mm, higher than all previous year. The total annual temperature and rainfall in Pahang can be seen in figure 9. As the graph shows, the annual temperature does not differ too much each year. For the annual total rainfall in the year 2019 until 2022, the graph shows an increasing amount of total rainfall each year. In the year 2019, total rainfall is 1,924.8 mm. In the next year, which is 2020, the total rainfall is 2,407 mm, showing an increased amount of rainfall. In 2021, the amount of total rainfall skyrocketed, which is 4,122.8 mm, indicating an increasing amount. In 2022, the total rainfall went up again a bit to 4,197.8 mm, but still a large amount, which is almost the same as the year 2021. Moving on to figure 10, which is the data for Terengganu from the year 2019 until the year 2022. First of all, we can see that the annual temperature in Terengganu does not have a big difference each year from the year 2019 until the year 2022. But to add more, take a look at the annual total rainfall. In the year 2019, the annual total rainfall is 2,063.5 mm. The next year, which is the year 2020, the bar chart show an increased amount of rainfall, which is 2,951.8 mm higher than the year before. But in the year 2021, annual total rainfall dropped, indicating that the rainfall in that year does not frequently occur. And lastly, in the year 2022, the annual total rainfall jumped to higher, which is 3,602.3 mm, showing that the rainfall statistic increased in a drastic way.
Figure 11 shows the annual temperature and rainfall data for Selangor from 2019 to 2022. The annual temperature is 28.2 Celsius in 2019 and declined to 27.9 in 2022. The average annual temperature decreased to 27.5 Celsius in 2021, corresponding with a decline in yearly temperature. The same thing happens in 2022 when the yearly temperature fell to 27.5 Celsius. Now look at the total annual rainfall. With a yearly total rainfall of 2,878.6 mm in 2019, it is clear that rainfall in that year was not common. The line chart for the year 2020 indicates that there was more rainfall than the previous year with 2,368.1 mm. However, the total annual rainfall in 2021 was only 2,052.5 mm. Finally, the yearly total rainfall in 2022 grew to 2,441.2 mm, indicating a sharp increase in rainfall data. Line graph in figure 12 displays the whole yearly temperature as well as rainfall totals for Perak, spanning the year 2019 to 2022. The annual temperature is 27.7 Celsius in 2019 and drops to 27.6 Celsius in 2020. The average temperature is 27.3 Celsius in 2021 and rises to 27.5 Celsius in 2022. The figures for the yearly total indicate a consistent upward and downward trend. There has been 2,810.9 mm of rain in the year 2019. The total rainfall increased to 3,279.5 mm in 2020. The overall amount of rainfall decreases drastically to 2,959.3 mm in 2021. The total amount of rainfall surged to 3,340.8 mm in 2022. According to these figures, there was extremely little amount of rainfall in 2019 and 2021 and a significant quantity in 2020 and 2022. Figure 2 displays Kedah's annual rainfall and temperature data for the year 2019 to 2022. From 2019 to 2022, there appeared to have been only one trend. To further explain the graph, the 2019 annual temperature is 28.1 Celsius. The annual temperature in 2020 is somewhat lower than in the previous year at 27.8 Celsius. The same decreases to 27.5 Celsius in 2021. This pattern persisted until 2022 when the annual temperature was 27.3 Celsius. In contrast to the annual temperature, the annual total rainfall exhibits varying trends every year between 2019 to 2022. There has been 2,185.7 mm of rainfall overall in 2019. Following that, in 2020, the total rainfall climbed to 2,413.1 mm. The total amount of rainfall decreased little to 2,277.1 mm in 2021. The total amount of rainfall decreased to 2,199.7 mm in 2022. Figure 14 shows the data on annual temperature and rainfall in Pulau Pinang from 2019 to 2022. The line graph illustrates that the annual temperature in 2020 and 2019 was 27.7 Celsius the same. However, the combined annual temperature for 2021 and 2022 was 27.4 Celsius, which was a little colder than the values from 2019 and 2020. Regarding rainfall data in Perlis, the yellow bar chart indicates that total rainfall in 2019 was 1,558.1 mm and in 2020 it grew to 2,200.5 mm. The total rainfall decreases slightly to 2,087.5 in 2021 and rises to 2,154.8 in 2022. The line graph in Figure 15 displays Perlis annual temperature and rainfall data from 2019 to 2022. The line graph indicates that the highest temperature, 28.7 Celsius, occurred in 2019. 2020 will see a reduction in temperature with an annual temperature of 28.5 Celsius. The average annual temperature decreases until 2021 when it reaches 28.1 Celsius and then slightly increases to 28.5 Celsius in 2022. Furthermore, the data on the overall amount of rainfall from 2019 to 2022 is truly outstanding. The total rainfall for 2019 is 1,745 mm and the total amount of rainfall for 2020 is somewhat higher at 1,837.7 mm. The data shows that in 2021 there was 2,234 mm total of rain. Finally, the total of rain in 2020 dropped slightly to 2,007.2 mm.
Now I will explain my part, which is the statistic of yearly temperature and rainfall in Sabah from 2019 to 2022. From what you can see, the average temperature is represented by the red bar while the average total of rainfall is represented by the green bar. The average temperature is fairly stable, averaging from 27.4 Celsius to 27.8 Celsius. It's suggesting that it does not fluctuate significantly over the year. Meanwhile, for the average of rainfall is increasing each year with a peak at 3,500 mm in 2022. It is indicating a trend of rising rainfall amount annually. This shows that the temperature is remainly constant while the rainfall is showing a consistent upward trend. Next is the statistic of yearly temperature and rainfall in Sarawak from 2019 to 2022. From what you can see, the average temperature is represented by the pink bar while the average total of rainfall is represented by purple bar. The average temperature is continuously decreasing from 2000.5 Celsius to 27.3 Celsius. It's suggesting a downward trend over the year. Meanwhile, for the rainfall, it kept fluctuating over the year with a peak at 4,442.3 mm in 2021. The rainfall kept fluctuating rather than showing a consistent upward or downward trend. This shows that the temperature is remainly decreasing while the rainfall fluctuates annually. Next is the statistic of yearly temperature and rainfall in Kelantan from 2019 to 2022. From what you can see, the average temperature is represented by the grey bar while the average total of rainfall is represented by the brown bar. The average temperature is continuously decreasing from 27.1 Celsius to 27.7 Celsius. It's suggesting a downward trend over the year. Meanwhile, for the rainfall, it keeps fluctuating over the year with a peak at 4,051.3 mm. The rainfall keeps fluctuating and reached the peak at 2022 rather than showing consistent upward or downward trend. This shows that the temperature is remainly decreasing while the rainfall fluctuates annually. Next is the statistic of annual average PM2.5 in Kuala Lumpur from 2019 to 2022. From what you can see, the PM2.5 concentration is represented by the y-axis, while the year is represented by the x-axis, and the WHO annual limit is dotted red line. Before I start explaining, I will first explain what is PM2.5 and the WHO annual limit. PM2.5 is the air quality measurement and the WHO annual limit is the World Health Organization recommended limit. The data shows that the PM2.5 concentration consistently exceeded the WHO recommended limit with a peak at 2019 reaching 21.9. This indicates that a significant air quality issue in that year. Next is the statistic of yearly air pollution in Johor from 2019 to 2022. From what you can see, the average AQI values are shown on the y-axis, while the year is shown on the x-axis, and the WHO AQI limit line is shown on the red dotted line. Before I start explaining, I will first explain what is the average AQI values and the WHO AQI limit line. The average AQI values stand for Air Quality Index, which indicating the air quality measurement, and the WHO AQI limit is WHO recommended air quality standard. The data shows that the average AQI values consistently exceeded the WHO recommended limit of 50. The peak average AQI values is at 2020 reaching 80. It shows that the air quality in Johor does not meet the safety standards set by the World Health Organization.
In conclusion, Malaysia faces a great challenge from climate change, one that calls for swift and thorough response from all facets of society. Due to its distinct physical and economic features, the nation is particularly susceptible to the negative consequences of climate change, including rising sea levels, more frequent and severe weather, and disruptions biodiversity and agriculture. Furthermore, Malaysia's mangrove zone will be flooded by water by 2040, and by 2060, the country's industrial zone might be impacted by sea level rise if we do not address this climate change.
Basically, tackling a climate change in Malaysia require a multifaceted approach that integrates policy, technology, community engagement and global cooperation. By taking proactive steps today, Malaysia can mitigate the worst effects of climate change and secure sustainable and resilient future for its people and planet. From a social point of view, communities, especially those in coastal and low-lying areas, are struggling with losing their home and livelihoods due to extreme weather events. Climate change will cause effect and potential long-term effect on the Malaysian population. There is a relationship between heat stress and impact on labour productivity, household spending habits, and overall living standard. So that's all from us. thank you for watching our video, and don't forget to like and share, and thank you.